Hello, it's been a great day so far at FTT Lending 3.0 and Future Identity Finance. Really busy, very buzzy, but taking some time out to chat to George Dunning, COO and co-founder at Bud. So hello, George, thank you.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, brilliant to have you. So I thought it's great obviously to have Bud involved in Lending 3.0. But perhaps for some of those who are unaware, can you tell us a little bit about you and about what Bud does?
Yeah, for sure. So Bud was started around 7 years ago. We've always had a focus on what is the value you can drive from transactional data. Open banking has been a fantastic driver in the industry, but we've always believed that getting the transactional data is just start of the problem. It's actually what you can do with that and how you can make value from it that is really the difficult thing to do for companies like ourselves. So at Bud, we really specialize in transactional intelligence and being able to categorize and analyze the transactional data at its most accurate level. And so with that, we've obviously had a lot of attention in the credit space and really delivering credit-specific products off the back of that transactional data to help lenders make more accurate decisions and access user bases that weren't necessarily available to them previously.
Great. When it comes to open banking in our financial services fintech bubble, we all know what it means, and we talk a lot about the potential, but it's perhaps not broadly understood by consumers, perhaps even businesses. How would you convey the potential in essentially simple terms that people can really understand?
Yeah, for sure. So at its simplest, open banking is giving the user the ability to access a data set that they couldn't previously, anywhere that is applicable. So to kind of take a step back, people don't realize that banking data, your own personal banking data, is a really great representation of who you are. And so what open banking does is it allows a consumer to tell a company, I'm happy for you to pull through this data that represents me as a customer so that you can make a fair and accurate decision based on that data. Whereas previously, there's a lot of decisions being made on maybe inaccurate data or out-of-date data. Whereas what open banking does is allow the customer to give access to their transactional data, and that transactional data be real-time, up-to-date, exactly in line with who the customer is at that moment in time. And so in layman's terms, it's the customer being able to go, yeah, you can connect to my bank account and you can pull through that data so you can understand who I am and then get access to this product. Normally that will be a financial product, and a lot of the driver is currently around lending products specifically. So a customer going, hey, I want to get this lending product. That's going to be easier, quicker, and fairer for me if I pull through this data set that is a great representation of who I am. Let's allow a company to do that, supply that to the lender, and they can make a really quick and fair decision off the back of that.
I really like that idea of showing someone who you are through your data. And you'll be joining a session later to talk about open banking, but crucially how to better meet the needs of the underserved.
Yeah.
So can you share a little bit about what that means and how you can deliver on that goal in practice? What does it mean for underserved potential would-be borrowers?
Yeah, absolutely. The underserved is unfortunately becoming a bigger and bigger market in the UK. There's more and more people that fit into this bucket. There's a lot of factors to do with that, the cost of living crisis, like inflation out of control. But there's also incumbent problems, which is, as I said, not up-to-date data or data that isn't necessarily representative of who you are. And so what we do is access a data set that is representative of who you are and start to give analytics back to lenders so they can actually make fair decisions around customers they previously just had to ignore. Previously, lenders were really relying on CRA data, which can be at its best up to 7 weeks out of date. Not pointing the finger at the CRAs, but just acknowledging the difficulties that we have there. And so what open banking data does is allow people that maybe haven't built up a credit history, and that might not mean that they're bad to be lent to, but it's just a sheer fact of they maybe weren't educated in finance, which none of us really are at an early age, and as we develop through kind of adolescence into teenage, into younger years. And then there's a lot of things that should count to a credit score that just simply aren't. Like rent is, for a lot of people, 50% of their income, of their outgoings. And so with that doesn't count to your credit score. So you might be the most fastidious renter there is and be doing it for a number of years. For whatever reason, well, because of that, you might not have had the utility bill in your name, and maybe you just decided a credit card wasn't right for you. So with that, you have a really thin credit file, but you could be great for a lender to lend to. So what we do is utilize that transactional data. We can build up a rent profile if the customer wants or the client wants, or just utilize, look back on that history and go, they have been renting fastidiously for the last 12, 24 months. That for us indicates they're a potentially really good person to lend to, and give that information back to the client so they can make that decision there. And again, that can filter into a host of different analytics that you can provide back. So really it's just, again, coming back to that, allowing the customer to use their data to empower decisions, essentially. Because right now the underserved are going, hey, I can't get access to something. So that's because the information that people have on me isn't relevant. So why don't we give them the access to that relevant data for the lender to make a really informed decision on behalf of the customer?
I think that's such a great example of how open banking can give a much more in-depth and fuller picture of somebody's financial life, because with the best financial education in the world, that's not going to change the fact that you might be living in a shared flat, paying a good chunk of your income on rent and not have, as you said, utility bills in your name.
Exactly. It's that point of, you could actually be a picture perfect customer to be lent to, but with some of the systems we have right now, you might just get denied for credit left, right, and center. It's really trying to repair that, and also, give information not just about the customer, but to lenders for them to go, oh, hang on, this is actually really interesting. There's a user group here that I was previously ignoring that I really want to tap into.
Yeah, absolutely. Both sides benefiting in that equation. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me today. I look forward to your session later today on just some of those things that we discussed, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you for having me.